Well, what I have learned throughout the implementation of my lesson sequence about teaching EFL is that one, modeling is crucial for the learning process. What I mean by this is that without modeling the activities, it's really difficult for students to actually achieve the learning goals. One of my experience, which I can come back and is linked to this, is that there was the final lessons where I had to teach a grammatical structure, and I knew it was gonna be difficult for the students to implement them because the practice activity required a lot of them. So I had to break down the activity and model it when I did the modeling, I think that it made an activity which I initially thought was incredibly complicated much easier for the students to achieve, which I saw the results when they were reporting me their answers, because all of the students were able to achieve to complete this activity. And even the students who needed a bit more help, when I guided them using the scaffolding I did of the activity in the modeling, they were also able to complete the activity, which I think was amazing. Another thing that I learned is how important is to integrate the content with their daily lives. The topic that I had this unit, it was about goals. So I made sure that while I was talking about other people's goals or other examples of goals that were given in the textbooks, I was also making sure that I connected with them with their goals. So I did a lot of brainstorming, asking for ideas that they had related to the content. Which I think made the classroom environment better, and it made the students be capable to relate to the topic of the unit. One of the things that I would change is in one of my last lessons, which I had to teach a grammatical structure. And I ended up following the textbook guide on how to approach that grammatical structure, but it was taught without being contextualized. And I was afraid to change the structure because I was told that I had to follow the book guidance to basically a T. And I just wish I had done something that was where the students could be able to see the grammatical structure being used, contextualized. I did something similar where I, apart from showing them the reflexive pronouns, which was the grammatical structure that I was teaching, and how in showing them the chart, I gave some examples on how to use it by writing them on the board. But I don't think that was enough. I think that from the get-go, I should have shown the students the language in context, which is something that I regret and which I could have done differently. Another thing that I would have done different is to use more ICQs when giving instructions. I know that the students are pretty used to following the instruction on the textbook because every lesson is they are using the textbook, but I still feel like they get a bit confused, even though when I do the modeling, I feel like they are able to get the instruction. Maybe implementing some ICQs could make me feel more sure that they don't have any doubt on what is expected of them. Yeah, those are the two things I would like to change. Well, I think that the main contribution of the practicum course is that It helped me build up my confidence and on how to implement an activity. This was done through the micro teaching, which made me realize how important modeling is, because I did very little in the micro teaching. So when I was planning to do my lesson sequence, I made sure that I did a lot of modeling, and that really paid off in my lessons. Additionally, because the course is very introspective and asks us to reflect a lot about the ways in which we teach and we plan, it has helped me to have a broader view on the way in which I make decisions in my teaching or in my lesson planning. And this has helped me to be more aware of my mistakes and trying to prevent them before they happen. And even when I make mistakes, I'm capable of realizing that they are mistakes. One thing that I noticed, for example, is that I think I'm pretty good at making quick decisions, but sometimes they don't pay off. So I'm able, and because of this time we had more opportunities to teach, for the next lesson, I was able to make better decisions. One example that comes to mind is that in my first class, I made the quick decision of having the students intermingle and then pick a partner to work with, and not make them work with their desk mates, but the students got too rattled and didn't quite they got too rattled, and they started to be disrespectful with each other. So I realized that those type of activity, those type of strategies were not suited for them. So for the next time, the way in which I decided in which way they were gonna work, it was by using the name sticks, and I was picking the pairs. So that way it was more easy for them to work, and yeah, it helped me make better decisions. And this was only capable because I was doing the salpies after each lesson. So when I did the salpy, I realized that this wasn't a good decision. So by the next class, I implemented a different strategy that I believe it worked.